Good afternoon, everybody. Today we'll be talking about selection criteria for heavy construction of infrastructures. This is the fruit of the course that we are covering. So actually, this is encompassing all the work that has been done by all of the groups along this course and other topics even. So this is actually a copy of a paper that has been, it's a presentation that has been presented before by a previous teaching assistant who worked with me, Muhammad Afif. And it has been presented in the CSCE 2016 conference in London, Ontario, Canada. So first we are having an outline. We'll define the detrimental and non-detrimental factors, and we'll be discussing the decision-making process, and we'll be giving some conclusions. First of all, infrastructures are everything that you could imagine to deal with your real life situation. Everything that serves humans other than typical buildings. So roads are infrastructures, tunnels, bridges, pipelines, dams, tanks, all of that stuff are infrastructures. And because of the variation of their nature, you'll find a variation of construction methods. But there are some common factors that govern the choice between the different construction methods. Although there is a very wide variation in the construction methods, however, the factors determining the choice of the construction methods are very similar in a lot of aspects. So these selection factors that will tell us which method to use in what case, could be classified into two major families. First is the detrimental factors. Second is the non-detrimental factors. Detrimental, we mean that it's a yes or no question. It works by exclusion. So either this method will be included or excluded. Either the method is applicable in that case due to whatever reasons or not. However, non-detrimental factor, it's an issue of favorability. Maybe one method is favored over the others. So if you could imagine, non-detrimental factors are things that could have issue of variability. I mean, time, cost, risks, ease of construction. So it's an issue of favorability. However, detrimental factors are something like site conditions, structural systems, size, legal factors, contractual factors. And we'll be discussing each in detail. So first, the site conditions. Site conditions like subsurface conditions, whether you have groundwater table or not, the type of crossings, whether you are crossing a river or you are crossing a waterway or you are crossing a road. So of course something like that will affect tunnels, it will affect bridges, bridge construction. Neighboring structures, the third-party rights, whether there are neighboring structures that will be affected by your construction method or not. All of these factors are detrimental in terms of being excluding a certain method or not excluding it. So a certain method could be not applicable due to third-party rights, neighboring structures, for example. Size and structural system. Of course, the structural system of a bridge, for example, will tell us whether a certain method is applicable for it or not. I mean, some methods are not applicable at all in case of an arch bridge, for example. Some methods are not applicable at all in case of a suspension bridge, for example. So, depending on the structural system of the bridge, the choice is narrowed down from a wide variety of methods to some few methods that will be chosen from. Same thing for underground structural systems. I mean, if a structure is large, an underground structure is large, there is a very low probability that you will be able to apply the bottom-up typical bottom-up construction method or the open cut excavation method, these two methods, they are not applicable for large structures because you will need a lot of bracing in such a case. So maybe you will be forced to have a top-down construction alternative. Pipelines, tunnels, the cross section, and the material. Because if the material of the pipeline is weak, you could not hammer it, maybe you could not ram it. So there is one big family of methods that is excluded. If it is not ductile, there is another big family of methods that's excluded. The shape of the tunnel. If the shape of a tunnel is rectangular, you could not use a TBM. So on. These are just examples. So these are issues that dictate your choice, or maybe exclude one family of methods or more. Legal factors. Legal factors come into the picture when either when we talk about third-party rights, issues of liability, neighbors for example, or when it comes to codes, laws, standards, related maybe to quality, environmental or safety aspects, when it comes to construction. So all of that will tell us that, okay, a certain method could not be used in some cases. For example, caissons. You could not use a caisson if you could not use a pneumatic caisson according to American laws if it is deeper than 35 meters, unless you use robots to put them down because of the caisson disease issue. So on. So in some cases, because of the legal factors, a certain method will be totally excluded. Also, contractual factors. Contractual factors, they are in the area in some cases. In some cases, contractual factors could be detrimental. Like, for example, time. Typically, time is not a detrimental factor. However, if a clause mentions in the contract that time is of the essence, then of course it became a detrimental factor now. You could not have the choice to be late. Maybe certain budget limitations within the contract. Maybe certain predictated milestones within the contract. So a lot of these issues will cause you to have a detrimental factor, which is the contractual factor here. That takes us to non-detrimental factor. Non-detrimental factor is anything that is relative, anything that is covering issues of favorability. So time and costs. Of course, all of us know that they are coupled. And again, here it's an issue of favorability. I mean, whether time and cost are more important or the level of risk is more important. You don't want to have a method that is more risky. So something like that. These are types of ease of construction, of course. These are types of factors that you will be favoring one rather than the other, not excluding a method. It's prioritizing issues. So that takes us to the decision-making process. First thing, you need to gather information. After that, you will test each possible construction method against the detrimental factors. Now, you'll decide whether that method passes or fails. So if it passes, you will include the method in your list. If it fails, you'll exclude it. And you will repeat the exercise for all the methods within the list. Then now, you have your list ready. You have the list of possible methods. And you need, at the same time, to prioritize the non-detrimental factors. What are your priorities? Is time more important? Is money more important? Is risk, the level of risk, is it where are we in the level of risk? Constructability issues, all of these issues. Then you'll use this prioritization in order to choose the construction methods to be used. So in conclusion, the choice of heavy construction methods depends on mainly factors that could be classified into detrimental or non-detrimental. The detrimental factors will filter out the validity of the construction methods. Then the non-detrimental factors will be issues of favorability, prioritizing one method rather than the other depending on your priorities. Here are our references, and thank you. Thank you.